In Sun Tzu's Art of War, he explains, if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the results of 100 battles. Former Ford and Chrysler CEO Lee Iacocca encouraged leaders to know yourself and know your business. The words of wisdom that emphasize the importance of self-knowledge and self-awareness are endless. Bottom line, if you don't truly know yourself, you won't truly know success. That's because not knowing your own direction and your own strengths and weaknesses makes it very difficult to go out there and help other people. For this reason, before sales professionals get put in the field, we like to blow things up a little bit with the F-bomb. No, not that F-bomb, this F-bomb. Your future, your fears, and your fire. Let's take a few minutes to talk about your aspirations and the steps you'll need to take to make your aspirations a reality. We'll start with the first F, your future. Having clear, long-term and short-term goals is certainly a best practice when it comes to being successful in, well, anything really. When setting goals, always use the SMART formula. SMART is an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Whenever setting goals, make sure you cover each point in SMART. The first step in the F-bomb is to clearly define your future. You can define your future that's a couple of weeks away or a couple of years away. It just matters that you have a clear, measurable vision of what you want your future to look like. A couple of key steps here. First, make sure that you write down your vision of the future. Writing your goals on paper connects them to your mind and helps keep them front and center in your thoughts. Second, don't let your self-limiting beliefs hold you back as you're envisioning what you want your future to look like. If you're not familiar with the term self-limiting belief, it's defined as a self-induced constraint on your ability to attain a desired outcome. Next, let's take a look at your fears. What are the things that stop you from taking action? Fear of failure? Fear of embarrassing yourself? Now here's where things get a little tough. Most people don't like to admit what their fears are, and that's a big problem. By not admitting your fears, you're hiding from them, and that means they continue to lurk in the shadows of your head, ready to extinguish your aspirations before they can ever actually become actions that you begin to take. However, when you define your fears, you create tangible opportunities for improvement. You empower yourself to take action and conquer those fears. If you're a little hesitant about making your fears a reality and bringing them front and center, consider this quote from the movie The Usual Suspects. "The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist." Don't let your fears be the devil that holds you back from being the best you can be. Once you have defined what you want your future to look like, and you have acknowledged your fears so that you can begin to tackle them, now you're ready to rev the engine. What are the things that charge you up? What drives you? What is your fire, and how do you keep it top of mind every day? Think back of a time you may have started a fire at a campsite or in a fireplace. If you remember, it takes some work to get the fire started. And if you don't consistently tend to the fire, it goes out. The same applies here to your internal fire. It can be difficult to define your fire and get it started. But even worse, once you do define it, it's easy to forget to tend to it, and your ambitions start to smolder. Here's the good news. If you continue to fuel your fire every day, it spreads and becomes overwhelming and almost unstoppable. Take your time as you complete the F-bomb journal entry, and be sure to revisit this journal entry and update it from time to time. Most importantly, print it out and display your F-bomb where you can see it every day so that it's top of mind. You have a fun and promising journey ahead of you in a career of professional selling. Let's blow things up and get going.